special meeting to discuss a violation letter that was sent by the town to Mike in regards to his property and the violation that occurred. Anything? Does that sound okay? So, unless there's any other questions, you've met us all.
Yes, I have.
So, unless there's any objection, I'm going to turn it over to Michael for this presentation.
It'll be all right there. It'll be up there, right there. We're good.
Right, excellent.
We're good.
Thank you. So I'm going to take you through, it's going to be long, but I can jump through some presentations, like 7 pages. But I'll take you through, I'll show you the table of contents. Statement of fact at the beginning, the approval process, so I call it disruptive neighbors, condition, reality, as it states now, and then the planning moving forward. And then my ask for the ask of right? The next one here is just, we had discussions with FEMA. FEMA is kind of the reason that we're here. We went through the approval process, and this is kind of at the end. And I'll have another slide that kind of summarizes this, but I just wanted to state the fact that what FEMA stated, FEMA from the floodplain management specialist in Atlanta, Terra Fox, North Carolina, and then just show you guys the price of the North. But we'll come back to this one because this is kind of at the end. All right. If you guys know about the property, I don't know if you can see that. You may not be able to see that. I'll explain. The property that we have here, my wife and I purchased, it was part of the Victoria Estates, all of 99 acres. And that was subdivided into 16 lots. I have lot 15 and 16, which is the major portion. And these were subdivided, I think, in 3 lots to homes. One thing I wanted to note, this lot 16 is the only one, 15 and 16, the only one that goes across Goose Creek. It has a right of way, 800 feet right of way, 65 feet wide that crosses Goose Creek. And one of the things I want to note is, if you note in the minutes, case number, it said that the two lots, 15 and 16 were subdivided next to Goose Creek, the glasses, will comply with all NCDER requirements. And that's the state of North Carolina that governs the water bodies. Right?
It will comply? Is that what
No, this is what the town of Fairview said. Yes, it will. No, I didn't write this.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct. It said that. So, just give you some background. This is when we were purchasing the land. This is what was the real case to us. He said, this is to show that this was part of Victoria Estates and the 2 lots that you're buying of this. They just said that. So, in our mindset, said, okay, we're gonna have to go in accordance to the North Carolina Department of Environmental Resources, I think, regulations.
Does it say will comply or say does comply?
Will.
Will
It says
comply.
that all next to Goose Creek will comply with all NCDER requirements in respect to the buffer crossing the creek. Right? The next one just shows you the property was landlocked. 16 acres are here. I mean, that's 16 lots, 14 lots are here on both sides of Lawyer Road, Duncan Road. And this is the property. And this is the proposed driveway that we had given to the state. But the only way to get to the property is to cross the creek. And there were actually 2 ways. The first way was a path that was created by 4x4. When we bought the property, there were paths up throughout the whole property, but they had driven a path across the creek numerous times. And this is just looking out through the thicket The creek is right here. Only way to get across it, to get to the property. And this is the property, this is the driveway at that time before we logged it. Question?
So that picture, that's a split screen picture.
That's two pictures, two pictures.
Two pictures, yeah.
Two pictures, sorry, two pictures. This is down the stream, and this is where the driveway currently is.
And the creek is on the far side. It's got,
The creek is right here.
yeah, the way I'm saying, it looks like this is the creek, and then that's, cause I can't see the creeks that, it looks to me from this perspective, that this is the creek, that's the road going to or from the creek, that's a split screen picture, correct? So the creek's on the back side of it.
Yes, okay, the creek is right here, this picture.
That-
And this is a separate picture,
Okay.
two different perspectives, looking at it, but these are just trees, it looked like a hill. This is just trees.
And where is West Duncan in relation to?
But, okay, if
This
this
here
here,
on the top picture, where's West Duncan?
okay, this, top picture, West Duncan is right here. If this is looking down, looking across, the creek, this part right here is right here, this line.
Okay.
So this shows, just give you a perspective of what you saw before we logged it. Questions? All right, just so as a background, I'm a former Department of Defense contract auditor. So I tend to try to follow all the rules and regulations. So we purchased the land and we began to purchase in February and we closed in April, not April, sorry, March. So there's a form you have to fill out, there's a online form that you have to fill out to get the NC DENR approval, but that also ties to the Army Corps of Engineers. So when you do one, it goes to both. So we started this one, we got this approval in about a week, the Army Corps of Engineers, which is the federal part. And then the North Carolina took a while here, and then we actually talked to Ed to get the permit for Fairview. Right, so this is where we started the process. So we obtained it in a week for Army Corps of Engineers. They basically said that you're exempt, you are a farm and you can cross the creek, whatever means you need. Because you're exempt. If you become commercial or you become commercial, then you have to change obtain a permit. Then as part of obtaining the permit, we sent the drawings to Ed, to the city of Fairview, and the permit was obtained. And then we also went through, and I take it through the process. With NCDENR, we had to go through a lot of iterations with the administrator there to get that permit. At first, we were going to put a pipe, a culvert in it, 10 foot culvert. And then I'll show you that the administrator said, well, that's too small. So then he came up with a 15 foot pipe to put several. But we didn't have any equipment to pick up a 15-foot culvert pipe. So we decided we would go with a 30-inch aluminum culvert, 30-foot, aluminum culvert to go. And the administrator said that was too big, too tall. So then we decided to just go across. But we got all approvals. We talked to the Union County because we were going through the federal, which is Army Corps of Engineers, the state, North Carolina, local, which is the city of Fairview, and then also the county. So we were trying to cover all bases and cover the counties that we don't need to cover. And then we started.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay, on this timeline here, like I said, well, my understanding is when you get to line one of your timeline, are you already the owner of the property?
No, we started here in February 8th.
Okay.
So we had, to give them the closing, we had, put in an offer. The closing didn't take place until the 11th. But we had, started the process to own it.
Okay, well, so my question would be, for the yellow area, which is that when you were talking to, trying to get the permit to build a bridge?
Correct. What we did is, because we knew we were gonna close, no, at first it wasn't to build a bridge. This one was a culvert, because we didn't know we had to
Well,
build a bridge.
but either way, but that was all dealing with the creek. At that point in time, you had already closed on the property, is that correct?
We closed on the 11th. We had, when we got the approval
For the permit.
for the Army Corps of Engineers, we closed. But we had started all of this discussion, because we knew that there, when you go to that, the website, that 30 days before they do anything, you have to submit it, and then wait 30 days before they will get back to you. So we knew that at that time, it would take a while.
Well,
So,
I guess I'm confused.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I guess what my question would be is, I'm asking, and my confusion is, well, in regards to the permitting process, before you'd started, but you didn't own the property?
correct.
Correct. So what was so you bought the property based upon the assumption that you would get the permit?
Correct. We closed, we started, so we signed the covenant. We put in the offer to purchase it, and then we came with a closing date,
Okay.
which was 11th.
The 11th.
The 11th of April, of March.
So I guess, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
I guess my question I guess what I'm asking is, was there a plan B, was the plan B the question is, and maybe I'm not here, but was there a plan B? So you get the property, and the plan B was to do what you want to do, so that was plan A. If you could not have put the culverts in or done any of that, what was your plan B?
There was no plan B, because I had read the regulations here. I knew we would, because I thought at first that we had, who governs the creek is Army Corps of Engineers.
Right.
So I read their regulations before, and I knew that we would be exempt, the farm would be exempt. So I do that. I didn't know the hassle that we had to go through with North Carolina. But yes, we purchased it. There was no plan B, no best alternative. The plan was to purchase the land and cross the creek with the Army Corps of Engineers, making their way to get that approval. But then I also, after going through with the state, that's when we decided on the bridge. But did I answer your question?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I think so. I mean, basically saying he proceeded with the purchase of the property,
Based upon,
thinking that he was gonna have a way to get across the creek, correct?
Correct.
Because the Army Corps of
said he
Engineers
could.
had indicated that they thought, what I didn't understand was you said something about commercial versus non-commercial farming. Did they clarify that? Do you have something in writing from them?
Oh, yeah, I have, I'm sorry, I have,
Okay,
their regs say that if there's no permit required, if it's a bona fide farm. But if you start doing commercial, residential or something, then I have to, not residential, commercial, then I have to have a permit. But I'll show you where they said on that.
It's really if you change the use from.
Use,
a
exactly.
qualified farm to something else more intense.
from a farm to something more intense?
Like a subdivision.
Like a subdivision.
Like I thought you meant a commercial farm.
Oh, no,
Like
no,
what-
commercial, no.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I
Like
got
the subdivision is commercial.
Farm is
So,
a farm.
from a farm, okay,
Farm is a farm.
that's what I
But
was.
change the use to something
Okay.
else.
I got you. Yeah, yeah.
Is that clear?
Yeah.
Here's what you were asking about. The first note we got, in section 404, that's actually what I read, the Clean Water Act. and it talked about that, the construction of a farm road, stream crossing is considered exempt and does not require a permit. And that's from the Army Corps of Engineers. Question?
And that's wrong, is what we're saying.
No,
It's not wrong.
no, it's not wrong. It's not wrong for their regulations.
There we go.
For their regulations.
Yeah, the floodplain, flood prevention ordinance is not related to that. That is a separate town of Fairview ordinance,
Well, which is also a state ordinance,
modeled off of the state.
modeled off of the state.
Right, which is a state town ordinance.
And it has nothing to do with the Army Corps of Engineers.
Okay, gotcha.
Which, give either that way, no one, if we didn't know or the one. All right, so this is when, in our discussion with North Carolina, and the gentleman's name was Alan Johnson. He'd been there a long time. I think Ed had a lot of dealings with Mr. Johnson. You know, so we're going back and forth. He had instructed us to build a bridge similar to the one that's on 218. And we got to tell them, we don't have hundreds of millions of dollars to do that. They told us to look at the size of it. So, and we did, and we went through some iterations with them. We did some calculations. This shows you the PCN that I had, the application I had to send to North Carolina and this Army Corps of Engineers. This just shows an example of a lot of emails back and forth that Alan and I had. You know, what he was saying here is, you know, he was recommending the 15-foot diameter culvert. And he did some calculations and said, well, and that's when we were in the discussion. We said, well, you know, we don't have anything to lift that. A large piece of commercial equipment to lift a 15-foot concrete culvert pipe. So that's when we talked about the 30-foot aluminum, and he told us something that was just too large, too big. But that's going, still, everything is talking about going in the creek. Nothing is talking about floodplain, and this is a state. Here he was asking about the width of the road and the culvert. But here we were saying that we would use a 84-inch culvert. Then we decided, we said, since he was giving us a lot of calculations and a lot of pain about the size of the culvert to go into the creek, we said that we would go across instead. That's what we're using now, where we're using the flat rail bridge. So we didn't have to do any calculations about flow or hydraulics. And then here's where he said, okay, as long as the creek flows under, you're okay. To do whatever, you know, here, you're fine to proceed with any means of crossing the creek you prefer. Given the Army Corps it is as exemption. So two bodies, federal and state, said we can cross that way we want. And then Mr. Humphreys, I sent him the information, and this is the permit, and you see the we got a drawing of the bridge from an engineer. Considered all that information. All right. This is the
Michael, let me stop there.
Yes,
So
sir.
the bridge itself, when we got the drawing of the bridge, got the permit, the bridge, the parts of the bridge you bought were 2 rail cars. Okay, we all understand that. Those 2 rail cars were intended for the temporary bridge and also the new bridge.
permit, exactly.
Okay, so we're talking about one bridge theoretically.
Correct.
But you understood it needed to be higher than what the temporary bridge was.
Correct. Exactly. Because we initially set it on because we initially put the bridge in the log, so we had to get across the creek to get the logs off to clear the land, because it was forest that had been there for years. But we put it on, and I'll get to it later, we put it on, it's on the banks, but it's not just sitting on the banks, it's on bin blocks in the dirt. So the same bin blocks that we will raise the bridge, but it's concrete blocks that weigh 3,000 pounds apiece, bin blocks. And so it's just sitting on that, but it's level, almost level with the ground, with the top of the creek. And that's just to get across, back and forth. And I'll show you later, what we plan to do is to use those right beside it. Jump ahead. Yeah, so here was there's a current bridge. This is Duncan Road. And there's two. This is the block lane. This is 15 and this is 60, but we bought both. So the driveway just comes down, and I'll show you a picture. Then we started building this up, but this kind of goes down all to allow us to cross. But we plan to put the new bridge at a higher elevation. So what we're going to do is put the pylons here, or abutments, and just lift it here. And then screw it down the other bridge. Make sense?
Yeah, and I guess if I heard you correctly, you said something about, your initial discussion was based on putting a culvert.
Correct.
And then when you decided that you didn't want to go with the culvert, that you wanted to go with the bridge, did I hear you say that Mr. Johnson, was that?
Alan Johnson.
That there wouldn't be any restrictions on putting a bridge over the creek? Is that what you said?
He said that since we were exempt, then go back, that we can cross the creek however, whatever means that we desire. But at that point, we had decided to go across. Right.
But a no-rise calculation never came up in the discussion.
Never came up in anyone's discussion. Right.
You gotta understand, Alan Johnson was a longtime employee of the state, of DENR, North Carolina Department of
National
Environmental Resources.
That's it.
I always get that confused too. But he always was the one I called when a farmer called me and said, hey, can I cross this contributory or creek? He said, don't you worry about it, I'll take care of that part. You gotta understand that the Goose Creek was a federally protected creek, and the state was responsible for maintaining that buffer, if you will, or who crossed the creek. Okay? What we did, and to a farmer, he was exempt. So he could go 20 feet or 25 feet. He could cross, especially if it was a farmer, go logging. And I had done that in the past several times with local farmers. They built culverts over the creeks. So, and he was always my man to say, hey, don't worry about the Goose Creek and the protected creeks. I'm your man. Well, he didn't have anything to do. Well, he knew his responsibility, but he did not have any responsibility for local laws, the town laws. But I went about what he said, basically.
Yeah, he and I, Alan, Mr. Johnson, and I had a lot of discussions. Well, you'll have discussion with him. He tell you, he tells you, what you need to do. But he had been there a long time. So this, okay. We had a lot of neighbors that reported that would report us to the governing bodies, and to Mr. Alan Johnson, to the Army Corps of Engineers. So they issued us they had actually issued a violation, saying that we had, the buffer was, the street, the driveway was too wide across the creek. And I replied, and I should reply, is, you can't have a 13-foot road on a 28 feet wide. You got to have a base to it. So, and I replied to Mr. Johnson and his boss. And later they actually rescinded it, the letter saying that, supervisor said, well, please, forgive us. We know not what we do, basically. So he, the neighbors complained, that's the reason they issued the violation. And then also the neighbors complained to Ed. And then we wrote a letter back, and then the section chief said, and then they sent another, they've been in North Carolina, sent another representative. We have a lot of visitors. And North Carolina complained, but stated that the Army Corps of Engineers was not doing their job. So the Army Corps of Engineers came out several times, and then Army Corps of Engineers actually did issue a letter and made a final determination, said, we're closing this once and for all. Don't complain to us anymore. And I'll show you that letter as well too. And then that brought us to Mr. Fox. So we've been through a lot, but we're still, we're gonna have this far. All right. So this is, we started in 2021, 22, 23. This just summarizes the approvals and the. All right. So just back again, the only way to cross it is the only way to get to the cross is to cross it. And this is just some of the. I won't bore you with this. This is some of the complaints that I guess Ed got, that state got, and they gave me copies of it that the neighbors complaining to the governing bodies. All right. I won't bore you with these. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. They were the North Carolina, when they issued the violation notice, when the neighbors complained, they were talking about the driveway was too wide. And when I went back to it, I was telling to Alice, I said, well, we agreed that the top of the driveway would be 28 feet wide. And I was telling them, you cannot have a 28-foot wide, 13-foot road. There's no way.
When you say wide, you mean span?
No, I'm talking, the road is 28 feet wide. So it's tractors and everything, the road itself. The top of the road, the pavement, we're not paving, but what the gravel is.
Okay.
But you don't have to have slope, you gotta have a base. So that, and so certain calculations, it has to be 60 feet wide in order for the road to be 13 feet high. Questions? Oh, you shake your head, so. So this is just history of the letters that the state sent. It was kind of coming to the fence. This was, all right, and then it's going forward. All right, this is the letter I was saying about that the Army Corps engineers sent, saying they issued to the state. And I don't think they sent anything to the neighbors. Some neighbors they had to do a FOIA in order to get copies of this. But I mean, they put it in bold. No Department of Army authorization required. So we're closing this once and for all. All right, so this is just to show you it's not the current condition, but just things gonna happen. For example, this is Lawyer Road right after Goose Creek Airport. If you come down Lawyer Road, Goose Creek Airport is on the left if you're coming, and then those two houses are right here. This one hasn't been built yet, but the houses are right here. This is jammed up. This is blocked with logs. One thing to note about this on Lawyer Road, the culvert is a concrete culvert, but it's only 11 by 12. So it's a small culvert. I mean, not small like that, but only 11 by 12. And the state was asking us to model something similar to this And this is 218, that's, trees falling, which is jamming the creek. And this, everyone knows, this is Howard Bottom. See, there's a utility pipe that will back up the trees. This is one time, it's summertime. You see the trees blocked. And, the state is responsible for cleaning that up, but just want to show, no matter what, there's going to be conditions where the creeks, where the culverts or the bridges are blocked. And this again is Howard Bottom. This is the property. I think everyone, this one's better. If you can see this, this is our bridge, a temporary bridge. And this is, if you're on Duncan Road, you're coming down the driveway, to your left. The creek, there's an intersection of wide there. And, just want to show that this will be a point of blockage. But we're there, because we cleaned it out a lot until Fourth Road. Same here. This is the creek. This is right on the other side of our bridge. We're constantly cleaning out the trees. And this is just an area view, if you can see it. I know you guys have been there, but this is just an area view of where the current bridge is. And the new bridge will be right at a different elevation. All right, so we had a lot of discussion about this. I'm going to talk a little briefly about this. The bridge, if you go to Google Earth, you can tap on, or even on your phone, you can stand now and you can get what your elevation is. So I went to Google Earth, tap on the bridge, is at 517. That's the elevation. The creek is 513. The next house up here is 535, the house up our neighbor. There's a house right here that's 545, and then the Howard Bottom is 521, the elevation. And I'll say why that's important. The BFE base flood elevation with the 100-year flood plan for Howard Bottom is 524. Sorry. So there's no BFE for here, for this house, 545. The BFEs is for Howard Bottom, there's a BFE here, so 100-year floodplain. There's no 100-year for this house. So there's no, what I was just trying to show here is there's no potential for impact to any home or any area, except here, which is the Howard Bottom, right, the golf course. The potential for flooding or the impact would be mostly if water's going down here, as now, it's going to flow on the property.
And what's your BFE, that right there, what's that BFE?
The BFE is 519.
519.
Yeah, so if this floods, 519 will be, well, yeah, right, it's 519.
And that's the 100-year?
100 years, correct.
Well, I'm trying to get straight
Yes.
on my mind. Before I came tonight, I did exactly what you said.
You did?
And I went and drove up on the bridge and used my phone. So my phone in the middle of your bridge, the elevation is 520.
Because you're standing.
I was sitting in the car.
Oh, you're sitting, okay. So 520.
So 520, so basically, if BFE is 519, it definitely will obstruct. Is that correct? Am I understanding that right?
No, if you at 520,
So
You went
that's right.
520.
So we got 1 foot difference.
correct. Yeah, exactly. So you did, okay. So I know the phones, technology now. All right.
So in layman terms, Michael, what are you trying to tell me?
What-
You're trying to tell me that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That your bridge is probably high enough to where it won't affect anybody but your particular property if there ever was a flood.
Correct, exactly, that's what I was going to say. I was trying to show the impact. Does that make sense? And that's what this is showing, exactly.
By one foot.
Well, no, is there, like, not right there, see, even the bridge is lower than that, you know, the bridge is lower than where you're sitting.
I said, everybody else is higher.
His, where, the other houses are not gonna be affected.
Yeah.
Correct, it will be an impact
Nobody will
on,
be affected but him if the
The
water
bridge
did
is
rise
after the
there.
flood,
What?
hits that 100-year flood.
correct, exactly, no, exactly, it's just showing the impact. And that's what I'm showing you, the 519. Right. And I'm just, you know, you guys have seen this, in just pictures of the bridge. And here I just show the plan. And there's this Ed's picture. Great picture, Ed, by the way.
So what, yeah,
Great picture. All right, so you guys have driven and you drove down here. The bridge, the new bridge is going to go right straight across here. But the elevated here and here. So all I'm gonna do is lift and shift once I get it up to 17 feet. And 17 feet is from the bottom of the creek. Yeah. It's gonna be at 525 elevation.
I think for a long time, I didn't know where the new bridge was going. I thought it was on the other side. And you would know. But when you look at it like that, you can see you're high on this end, you're low on that side.
Correct.
So he's going to the right of the bridge, making a new bridge, and he's building up both sides. If in fact he didn't have a bridge, he couldn't build up that side because he couldn't get across the creek.
Exactly. I can't do anything. I can't bring a tractor across here because you know we talked about going in the creek because I said you could go in the creek. You know, tractor will get stuck. But this is almost 6 feet down.
And you can see where he logged the other side, which is a nice, pretty piece of property.
Oh, it is.
But it was a lot of complaints from the neighbors about dust and all that.
Yeah, the neighbors that we have here, they're great. We, like I said, the dust, we actually give them auto bill certificates just to clean their cars. Yeah, because they're the ones that are right beside us and the dust, and they don't complain at all. So we just give them, my wife gives them auto bill. All right, so that's the plan. And talk about the no rise. You know, if we go to 25, you know, just the engineer, she hasn't done anything yet, but she's just saying that, you know, if we go above the 500-year plan, that potentially, you know, any rise calculation plus, I think, Mr. Parkinson has to go to 0.0 impact. But one thing I wanted to mention, and it's at the end, I'll mention too. FEMA did say that, Administrator FEMA did say that if there is an impact, if we do the no rise, and if there is an impact, the counties and county engineer can come up with an alternative and say, where does that water flow? If all the water flows back on my property and doesn't back up to any other property, doesn't impact anybody else's property, then that can be the alternative, that we agree that will be the solution, that we will, there is a rise, but it will be, there's no impact to others. Does that make sense?
I guess one thing that concerns me as far as the overall thing is that the pictures you've got and the description you gave, the problem they had on Goose Creek as far as obstruction was not the bridge, it was the culvert and it was the utility pipe going across the stuff back up against where it just doesn't make sense to where in the process, the bridge is not the issue.
Correct, totally.
Because they got 11-foot culvert and then you got that pipe going across there. So I don't understand.
So you're saying Lawyer Road is 11-foot culvert,
Right.
and then at Howard Bottom, they got that obstruction with the utility pipe. And that's also, I forget the size of Howard Bottom, that's extra small as well. So it's actually smaller than what we're proposing, because we have 52 feet, yeah. But yes,
We've got a bridge in Fairview that a guy built to access his farm by the regulations, by the state regulations. And what he did was, he put the pipe in there, the 3 pipes that he thought, he didn't check with the state before he did it, but he did afterwards. But now he didn't build it correctly, so now water's going through and around the pipe. That makes any sense.
Yeah.
So, he built
Eroding
it incorrectly.
away.
He built it incorrectly.
so this will just give you a picture, a pictorial of how we plan to build the abutments. This is my best animation, but we're gonna draw a line across and show where we're gonna put the, what level, where we're gonna put the abutments for these are bin blocks. These are the 3,000 pound, 3,600 pound blocks. But, you dig out a foot, you put 2 inches of, 2 feet of rock, compress it, and then you build up. And that's what we plan to do. I put it in, but this is on the bank, not in the creek. A lot of bridges, they do the abutments, but they also have the power lines in the creek. Our plan is not to go into the creek. So, this is just kind of a pictorial showing the way we're. And you guys have been across this, and this is the flat rail, just turned upside down. And you guys know what flat rails are, right? They just took the wheels off is that? Wheels off.
And a lot of bridges are built across the country using these.
Exactly. I think we were talking about, there's one similar on, Howard Bottom is similar because it's just girders and wood with asphalt on top of the wood. But it's going in the 60s. And this is just to show examples. Ours will plan to be this way. This is kind of give more picture without these. That's just long and expensive. But it shows you won't be in the creek. This is
In a perfect world, what you would like to do, your aim, what sort of time frame are you looking at? If everything would work the way you want, for how long would it take to do what you're hoping?
I have a plan. Exactly. Well, I'm asking probably, okay. I don't have endless resources, because this is not a project, like I'm not developed, I'm not, I don't have something that I'm trying to deadline anything. Deadline is to get it so we have farmland. But at least 2 years, because what I'm doing is, instead of buying dirt, because I initially started buying dirt, that's $200 a truckload. You guys, yeah. And construction companies, there's a lot of construction around here, especially with this red dirt, which is great because it's in Union County, and that's compactable. So we're we should have dirt coming in, go to the other side to build up the abutments. So roughly.
Well, I guess, could you say 2 years, what you think it would take to, using your resources to get the bridge completed to meet
Correct.
all the requirements?
Correct.
I guess what would be, when you've got governing bodies looking at wanting to get it done as quickly as could be done to avoid any problems then, or if there would be flooding, if somebody would be flooded, who would be ultimately responsible. I'm just speculating, I don't know, and I don't know anything about this stuff, but I just can't imagine those people that are providing oversight would not be comfortable with a 2-year time period to get a bridge done. So what are What option, what is your backup plan?
Again, there's no plan B.
Can I ask a good, typically governments and local agencies don't care as much as when the project is completed as what is required prior to beginning the project.
Okay.
So I think the question is, how long would you need to get the no rise certification? Because that has to be done prior to the bridge being built, correct?
Correct, right, correct. And I have no, I sent a note to the engineer to ask her a time frame. She's in California, so let me just check the email, see if she replied.
So
That's what,
that's a main concern.
That's-
Usually,
I mean, typically, right, for construction type projects, once you have the permit, you have to, you 2 years to start and make substantial improvements, to be grandfathered in under that. I mean, every ordinance is different in all requirements.
So if we have no, I guess I just like to ask the question, so if the no rise is available, and you have something, you know what you have to work towards, if his expectation to try to get a bridge done, meet a requirement 2 years would probably would be acceptable by those people.
Right, I don't think it's this board's concern, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ed, with how long it takes to build the actual bridge.
Okay.
Our concern is he following
The
the ordinance
And there's no time
requirements?
limits in the ordinance.
Well, there are, and that's why we're here today, right? Because we're not supposed to begin the construction until you have the no rise.
correct. That's a different issue. But that is the main issue. That's the reason people
Okay,
came.
the main issue.
Yeah, but what I was trying to say is, it wasn't an issue, well, I'm not trying to say it wasn't an issue, but the ordinance says that you have to have a no rise before you do construction. Right, that's what the ordinance says. But we started construction under the pretense that we didn't need the no rise. But yeah, so we're here now because now people are saying that we have to have this in order to. But yeah, but I'm asking for dispensation to say time limit and also use of the current bridge as well as, we'll do the no rise as well. But I can show you what that's. And this is what it's gonna look like at first. Yeah, current access, timeline, basically. Yeah, for 36 months, right? Yeah, basically 24. I just put, so 36 months, complete the project, keep the current bridge in place to access the property. No rise, we'll do the no rise, and then support. That's what I'm asking.
Next question, it says complete no rise with other than North Carolina engineer.
No, I changed that.
Okay.
It's just, yeah, I changed that. I had to change that. Yeah, we looked it up last night. I think she just.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the initial ask, and then, great database. Pull up the individual.
What was the answer to the question?
He wanted to use an engineer that was certified in another state other than North Carolina. And he has since found one that is certified in
Oh, okay.
North Carolina.
That's not an issue.
Right. that's-
No, it was the same engineer, but she practiced
Yes,
in
certain licenses in several.
different states. Exactly.
License and fund. The fourth bullet point, support from administration, that's us, right?
That's us.
Related to neighbors.
It just, we've been having a lot of, and the neighbors call us, that's just, exactly, I don't say complaints. There's complaints, the complaints that have no basis.
Right.
I'm going to end with the reason they issued that stern letter, because they got so many calls. And there still was no basis for the calls. So they said, okay, for once and for all, we're gonna close it. And North Carolina said the same thing. Now they're gonna come to aid. Because they don't have anybody else. They can't go to the Army Corps of Engineers. They can't go to the state.
he's gotta be doing something wrong over there. this property was farm, it was natural for 500,000 years, and now he's over there doing something, and we think he's doing something wrong.
Right, so it's just a
So-
matter of
They're just complaining all the time, they're
Nothing
hearing
formal,
bulldozers,
just
Oh,
like-
no, 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 it's
they're
just,
hearing trucks, or,
gotcha. Okay.
whatever.
yeah, that's exactly it, yeah.
Sharing that burden, got it.
And, yeah, and shoulders are bigger than mine, no, mine's bigger, but, yeah, he knows the neighbors and all, yeah, a lot of people.
And some of them were fearful of what might be over there, they thought maybe a subdivision was going over there. Well, I said, no, it wasn't a subdivision. But they don't believe, just anybody. But they may think, well, there is a subdivision going over there, because he's clearing, he's logging it. Just fear of change.
Well, maybe it might be if they get on his nerves enough, right?
Yeah.
There might be a subdivision going in
Yes.
there eventually.
So, because I always
For
say,
the bridge.
For the bridge.
If he could have found a developer with enough money to build a bridge and give him enough money to buy that piece of it.
it'd have been a subdivision.
So I guess, are you getting close to the end?
That's the end. I mean, I can show you, if you want to see a prettier picture, but.
I guess at the point on that, we have two councilmen that aren't here and tonight, and I think, and they haven't, and one of them does. One has seen the property.
No,
One has
everyone
not.
has.
The one that's in the property.
Hasn't seen it at all. So far as, if I say something wrong, correct me. From my perspective, I think we need input from all the town council. And so, and Melody's here for, interpretation, make sure that we're doing things properly to meet the guidelines that we're responsible for. So as far as this meeting tonight is to take advantage of not take advantage, use your presentation to inform us and let us start the thought process, and then you corrected the questions we've all had from your legal standpoint. So at this point in time, I think the next step would be is to, and I would feel more comfortable, and I hope everybody else does, is figure out a way to, whether it be a Zoom or whether it be personal contact, that you give them the presentation, and then we come back, and if there's any other questions, we go back to you. If they bring something we're not aware of, do you have an answer for us? Does that make sense?
This meeting's being recorded, correct?
Yeah, it is.
So they'll be able to watch it.
I'll watch
Yeah.
Yeah, and see.
So
Can we get a copy of your presentation?
Of course,
Okay,
I'll try to put it on, it's too big to put,
just
I'll try.
put it on a flash and,
Yes, I'll have
or
to do it for my,
PDF, or a PDF, just something I could read, because I couldn't read it. I'd love to read it.
oh, no, I will,
That would be great.
I wrote this book, so I have to, somebody has to read it. But I will put it on the file and give it to, yeah, I just can't go to this computer because it's.
So at this point in time, as of right now, you're waiting for some contact back from, response back from the engineer concerning the no-rise.
Just the timing of it, because, talking to Ed, I plan to go ahead and get her to do the no-rise if we need to do it. And I think we have to do it, right?
Well, it sounds like that's
The
It
prerequisite.
doesn't sound
one of the problems is too, the stop work order theoretically tells him he cannot do any work on the project.
Correct, I can do it in,
What does that mean if we'll probably have to alter that to let him do work on the project, because if we let him keep the bridge to help build the new bridge, he'll be a stop.
Right, right. So what this board can do is either affirm, revoke, or affirm and modify the order that, Mr. Humphrey said to you, that you then appealed
Yep.
and made us here today. So I think, what the mayor is suggesting we do is, close this meeting, put this item on the agenda for discussion at another meeting where the entire board can be here, and you'll be notified as well, and have discussions about whether or not they want to affirm, revoke, or modify the order. determine next steps.
Do I need to, I think we discussed, I could have a conversation, I could show it to other councilmen personally. So if they have questions, then I can answer that way. Instead of looking at YouTube, because you
Right, right. This isn't quasi judicial. There's some hearings that are very formal in nature. You can't have any contact with, with the board. But because there's only a couple sentences in the flood prevention ordinance regarding how this is to be handled, the flood damage prevention ordinance, I think that's fine.
Now, let me make sure I understood you right. We're gonna have another meeting, and by that time, John and David will have heard it. The next meeting, we will discuss it. Do you want that a special meeting rather than at the regular council meeting?
If you want me there, then I would ask that you do that because the
Do the
second
special.
Tuesday of every month I have to use your
So we have to be there on the journal meeting.
Right.
So it needs to be a special meeting. I think that's right.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
that's fine.
That'd be a special purpose meeting.
And that'll be the only item on the agenda.
And then at that point, we will have in our minds about what we think is what we want to do. And then we can instruct her to write it up as a agreement. What I'm gonna do, we can't drag it out too long because I told the state that we're in that process of getting to some agreement. So I don't want to drag it out too far.
Let me ask this question, and I'm not, what this?
Now, the agreement, after they talk to you, you'll write the agreement, and then the agreement could come back at the special meeting and not.
I don't know that it's an agreement per se. It's just going to be whether or not they're going to affirm, deny, or affirm and revoke this findings of fact in order.
Okay, would that have to be done in a meeting?
Yes,
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying.
yes. In an
After
open
the
meeting.
special meeting, that we would come,
Yeah, published, notified, all of that.
and it could be a regular meeting.
It could be a regular meeting or it can be a special meeting.
I think the special meeting would be first. Try to get everybody discussed and give you instructions, and then you write it up, and then.
It could be adopted at the regular meeting,
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's
where
fine.
I don't need to be present at.
Okay, and we're back to the no rise. It sounds like to me that
We're not back to it.
we're not back.
You are back to it.
I'm back.
Yeah.
I can't ask a question. No rise is, and I don't have to put this, maybe I should whisper it to you. That's it. Was a no rise, it sounds like to me that you're making plan for getting a no rise.
That is what, yeah, and I discussed, it. Yeah, I plan to, yeah, I'm talking to an engineer to get to know that.
To get the no rise. So is that something that's his benefit to go ahead and get a no rise?
So you have to.
Yes, but that,
The city, the FEMA is saying that FEMA is saying that the community has to get the notice. They were saying they should pay.
They're gonna come down.
They would say people, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Town.
so it's for his advantage to go ahead and get the no rise.
Everybody's advantage.
In the agreement, can we let him continue building the new bridge while he's obtaining the no rise? I think the ordinance says you have to have no rise before.
You have to have the no rise before construction. The question is.
Well, he's just moving dirt, right?
That could be, yeah, that's
But
basically what they're.
But that's.
It all goes back using the bridge.
Right, I mean, erosion control and all of that is kind of.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, so the sooner the better on all that, so.
I think the question is how much time do you need?
To get a no rise.
Yeah, to get the no rise.
Yes, like I said, I sent the note to the engineer to see, what time, what her time
But if
would
she
be.
comes back and says 3 or 4 months, which, in my experience, an average is 6 months. I think we talked about this
Right.
on average. Does that mess him up in trying to start building the bridge?
Not if you modify this.
Okay.
The new bridge, I think it does, but not doing any work on the temporary structure. That's corrected there.
The work is being done on the new structure for the new bridge.
But you like
He's
the
just
old bridge.
using the old bridge To get to the bridge.
Okay. Yeah, according to the ordinance, I don't think.
I think you're right, though, in the agreement, we could let him continue using the old bridge to transfer dirt to the other side of the property.
So the new
Across the
bridge.
street.
Instead of addressing New Bridge, instead of saying,
He could just say,
okay,
transfer the dirt across the old bridge, waiting for the no-rise to build the new bridge.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, I should write that down.
Yeah,
I think you should.
So
You won't
where,
remember it tomorrow when you want me to type it up.
so where we're leaving now is we're gonna wait until when John, David and John can, well, in the meantime, go ahead and watch the video. And when will that go on? When will that go on?
Right now.
Right now.
That's all right now. So they
They're
can,
not on.
they can go and watch it, and then they can go, then they can make arrangements with you to talk to you individually
If they need to.
if they need to. And in the meantime,
The hard part would be making a date for a special meeting, where
Right.
all of you can be here.
Right.
And that'll have to be after the first of the month, probably.
Just pointing out section F on page 25 of the ordinance, known encroachments including fill, new construction, substantial improvements, and other development shall be permitted unless A, it is demonstrated that the proposed encroachment would not result in an increase in the flood levels during the occurrence of the base flood discharge based on a hydraulic and hydraulic analysis performed in accordance with standard engineering practices and presented to the floodplain administrator prior to the issuance of a floodplain development permit or the conditional letter of map revision that's been approved by FEMA.
the shall get there no
So
runs.
you would need to issue a new permit, and you can't do that
What's your not?
until you have the no rise or the letter of map revision.
but that's to encroach, but if I don't come up to the encroachment area, the floodway area, I'm not encroaching. I'm bringing the dirt across. Wherever I put it
When it's
on,
in the floodway, areas designated as floodways or not within the special flood hazard areas established in Article.
it doesn't, are they talking about just construction?
No encroachments including fill, new construction, substantial improvements, and other development shall be permitted. Yeah.
But I said, I don't,
In the
if I take an area across,
You're not, yeah, I mean, if you're not encroaching or going
Correct.
in the creek,
If we put some pile of dirt in the middle of his property,
right,
that's not,
correct,
Not
so I
encroachment.
can continue to do that, okay.
So you can do that and without having a no rise.
correct.
Is that- that's yes?
And that's your,
I would so, I'm not, he's the administrator.
Yeah. I'll look at it again.
okay, so I,
But that'll be in the agreement.
so right now, the way we recap this is one, we know we have to have a no rise. And he's in the process of taking care of the no rise. We need to get a ruling on, if, once he gets a no rise, or until, even until he gets a no rise, if he doesn't, he can use, we're assuming he can use the bridge to bring dirt across and not be in an area that's encroaching upon the creek. We continue doing that.
Now, even though he's got a stop work order.
Really, the stop work order needs to be modified before that happens.
And y'all two would get together and do that.
Well, you'll need to meet again and tell us
Okay.
what language you want in it, and that's what, do you want to pick out the date now, or do you want to wait till the other two
Yeah.
members are here?
Soon as better on that.
Well,
Good rate, y'all could.
I'm out of play till I come home
Yeah.
26th
You'll
of
have,
April.
you'll be back by the first of the month.
Oh, yeah, oh, definitely.
You got a calendar.
I have, Tuesday the 30th,
Are you gonna be here Tuesday the 30th?
So,
April.
April? Should be, all the dates.
Now, we scheduled this meeting and John and Dave can't be here, or John can't be here. We're gonna take their comments and share them.
Yeah.
We're gonna make a decision.
Yeah, I can be here on the 30th of April.
Let me check one second.
Trish, how are you?
Beer.
Check one across the schedule. Because your shop is getting so far, it's okay.
Sure, okay.
You good on that?
Yes.
April 1st.
What
6:30?
time is it, 6:30?
It's earlier better for me, I don't know when y'all can get it.
Can we have to?
I can come anytime.
The problem's John.
John,
John, but
But we
he's
don't
the
have,
president of the company, he can go anytime he wants to.
if he's in town.
but if you can't, we can, if we have a quorum, we can,
He can give us his, wants.
Is that 5:30?
Okay.
Or 5?
Is that a Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, good.
5 better?
that's just whatever works best for you.
Okay.
3 o'clock?
You're not that lucky.
Do you charge overtime?
First Friday.
Okay.
So what time do we come at 5?
5.
5?
Five, oh, I read 5:30.
That's 5 PM.
You all right with it? Mike? Can you
You
arrange
good with
that?
that?
To,
Are you gonna be here?
do I need to be?
Or do you want to be here?
I think we should.
He
I can
can
be
be here,
Yeah, just let me,
just for questions that, you know, they ask.
Just for the record, did someone make a motion to open this meeting? No, you opened it.
Oh, yeah, I did, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, so, why don't, I need someone to make a motion to recess the meeting until Tuesday, April 30th at 5 PM. Still go ahead and put, get me notice out.
I move that we recess this meeting until Tuesday, April 30 at 5 p.m.
I second.
Very good. And we'll have the, sure.
And then you just need a motion to adjourn.
Can we at that point in time?
Michael, do you have any more to say?
no, I'm good, sorry,
You said
sorry. No, sorry.
So will you keep Ed in the loop as to where you're, what stats and what you're getting done and so forth and so on?
Oh, yes, we've been doing it hip.
So we've got a motion, and we've got a second, take a second.
Yeah.
Are we doing,
We're
you good vote?
adjourning
You
now.
just need a motion to adjourn.
Oh, well, that's what I called.
We haven't done that.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Good question.
If you want to